Hello, Algebra 2. Hopefully everybody was able to work on part one of the polynomial house project and find the area and perimeter for each of the rooms. And then go ahead and start working on part two once you've found that number for x. If you have any questions, make sure you message me through email or by text message. And I'll put my number here at the end of this video in case you have not seen any of the other videos. But here's how we work on factoring polynomials, which is part 3 of the project, finding the area and perimeter of the items in the backyard, like the pool and the doghouse. All right, so we have two different types of factoring. The first is when a is equal to 1. And we're going to have a trinomial here like we did for our area problems because that's what they're giving you. You're giving you the area. So we have x squared plus 10x minus 11. So the first thing we have to do in all factoring problems is find a, b, and c. In this case, a is 1, b is 10, c is negative 11. Since a is 1, we need to just find factors of c that add or subtract to equal b. In this case, b is negative 11. So we're looking at the factors of negative 11, which happen to be 1 and 11. Because the 10 is positive, that means the smaller number has to be negative. So negative 1 plus 11 is 10. So those are our two factors, negative 1 and 11. And that's it. You just list that. These factors are the dimensions of the things in the backyard. So if you found that, you could use 1 as length and 1 as width. And then you use the value that you found for x, and it should be different for house 1 and house 2 to answer the area and perimeter questions. But these are the dimensions. That would be the dimensions. All right. The second type of problem is when a is not equal to 1. If there's a number in front of x squared. Whenever you have a value in front of x squared, first, we're going to find a, b, and c. So a is 3, b is negative 1, c is negative 10. And then we're going to multiply a and c. So we take 3 times negative 10, and we get negative 30. Then we need to find factors of that a times c that equal b. So we're going to find the factors of negative 30. And again, because our middle term is negative and our last term is negative, that's going to tell me the larger of my numbers is negative. So I'm going to take negative 1 times negative 30, 2 times negative 15, 3 times negative 10, 5 times negative 6. Those are all of the factors. And then I'm going to look at the addition and subtraction. So I have 1 plus negative 30, which is negative 29, 2 plus negative 15, which is negative 13, 3 plus negative 10, which is negative 7, and then 5 plus negative 6, which is negative 1. Our b value was negative 1. So once we have that, we are going to write this as 4 terms. So we're replacing that middle term, that negative 1x, with our two factors that we just found, 5x and negative 6x. So I'll have 3x squared plus 5x minus 6x minus 10. And then I'm going to factor by grouping. And so what we do is, you see I have these parentheses. I'm grouping the first two terms together and the last two terms together, and I'm going to take out their greatest common factor. In the first one, 3x squared and 5x only have an x in common, so I factor that out, and I'm left with x times 3x plus 5. Negative 6x and negative 10 have a negative 2 in common, so when I factor that out, I have negative 2 times 3x plus 5. The whole point of factoring by grouping is that I get this 3x plus 5 to be the same in both parentheses. So now that I have that, I can take that 3x plus 5 out, and I'm left with x minus 2. So that becomes my second dimension. And again, these factors are the dimensions of the things in the backyard. So you can choose which one is width, which one is height, or which one is length, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. Based on the pictures, you should probably be able to determine which one is the bigger one. But again, it's not going to really matter. And then you're going to use these value, again, the value that you found for x from question number 4 to find your area and perimeter. And if you need to get in touch with me, hold on one second. I'm going to put my phone down so I can open the marker. If you need to get in touch with me, the number is 859 567-0311. Or you can email me or message me on Twitter, which several of you have done. So again, 859-567-0311. Make sure you are sending me a photo of your progress every week, so that way I can update your grade in Infinite Campus. Don't worry about rushing through something. If you are not getting something turned in by Friday, that's fine. I am going to put in a missing, so that way you know, but you will not lose any points for late work. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me an email or a message, or message me on Twitter. Please try to keep those between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. I may respond after those times, but don't expect me to respond at like 1 o'clock in the morning. All right. Thank you. Have a good night.